Hi guys, oh my god, I haven't filmed a video like sitting like down like this in so long. I hope you guys are well. I just needed to take a break and just kind of film whenever I felt like it and not really have a schedule, so that's what I've been doing. But yeah, I haven't done like a social work update to you guys in so long, and I know a lot of my subscribers are following me for social work, so here we are. So as you guys, if you saw my video from when I did a career update around where I am and stuff like that, I had just gotten a job in child protection. So I started that in, I think it was March. Yeah, March. So it's been April, May, June, July, August, September, October. We're in the beginning stages of November now. So it's been 7 months since I started. So I think it's a good time to kind of, give you guys an update, let you know how I'm going, what I think about it, how I feel about it, and everything else. So yeah, if you're not subscribed to my channel, what are you actually doing? Go ahead and subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and turn on your notification bell just so you don't miss out another upload from me, and that way it can keep my channel going as well. So yeah, I just wanted to talk to you guys about some of the stuff that I found really good and some of the stuff I found really challenging, and where I sit at the moment in terms of where I am in my social work career. So as always, I'm very honest with you about my feelings, so get ready. So some of the stuff that I'm really enjoying about child protection. So I think before I went in there, I had my own ideas of what it would look like. I had my own ideas about how they work and what, how they work with families and what happens and stuff like that. But being there, it's completely different. I feel like they work very holistically, especially in my office and in my team. They work very holistically. They try to identify what supports are needed by families, and then they try to put those supports in place, and they do a lot to try and mitigate a lot of risk. And removal of children is usually the absolute last decision that's made, unless things are going downhill and nothing is changing and the child is really at risk, that's when they would consider removal. It's usually last resort. So they would do a lot of case management, referring to services that can go into the home and provide ongoing support. They pay for appointments, they help with financial support, food and other stuff like that. You might need a vacuum cleaner or something, and you could ask your caseworker, and most of the time their managers are agreeable to those kind of things. So they really work hard to ensure that families are doing okay before they consider removal. So that was an eye-opener for me, and I'm glad that I got to experience that, because I think I had my own ideas and around what things look like in that sense. The other thing I am enjoying about it is the fact that I'm not confined to my desk. So at least minimum once a week I will go out to do a home visit, either tagging along with another caseworker or going to see my own clients and having someone else come with me. And I really enjoy that, because I don't like the mundane sitting behind desk writing reports and doing that 24/7. So I like the balance that I get with that. And once in a blue moon I might take a client to an appointment, those kind of things. So I really enjoy the flexibility in that sense, because my previous job wasn't like that. I was confined to a desk and doing all my work in the office or over the phone. So I am liking that. And that way as well, I feel like you're able to get in there a little bit more and spend a little more time with your client in their home where they're comfortable and that kind of thing. Although when it comes to the amount of time that you have to do that, you're very limited. Okay, so those are the really good parts that I've really enjoyed. The parts that I found really challenging, the first thing is I feel like it's a role that needs a lot of objectivity. You have to be very objective in how you view clients, how you view their situation, how you view what's required for the client and things like that. Just so you're not, because it's very easy to be subjective and to become subjective or to be judgmental, and I don't know if it's even possible to be objective, you know what I mean? Okay, so some of the things that may lead to a removal is let's say there's drug and alcohol in the home. There is like not just drug and alcohol, like just little drug and alcohol, like serious drug and alcohol where parents are constantly using and the kids are not old, like maybe it's a baby, and maybe mom is co-sleeping and they're not doing what they need to do, and maybe the house is infested with rats, or I don't know, something ridiculous like that, let's say. So, you know, for something like that, it sounds like you might go in and then you might be like, okay, there's no way a baby can be here, so baby has to go to grandma, stay for a night whilst we clear this up before baby can come back, and we can have a talk to mom about what she needs to do to ensure that baby comes back. But at the same time, depending on what my upbringing is as a caseworker, like just in my own personal life, I might not view excessive rats in the home to be, this is a terrible example. Let's say it's infested with cockroaches, okay? And then I'm like, oh, you know, I mean, where I grew up, there was cockroaches there all the time. Like, that's not really, I don't think that's that bad, you know? So that would impact on how I write my reports, and that would impact on how I communicate my experiences with the client to my manager. And obviously that will impact on how my manager makes her decisions and how she interacts with that client or whatever. And then, so in the end, even though when it comes to removals and things like that, the decisions are made by court, it's still, like, what I say has an impact. So in the end, it's not really entirely up to court, even though they make the final decision to say, okay, we're proceeding with like a temporary care arrangement, or we're removing the child till they're 18, or we're putting interim orders for 2 years to get mom to do the A, B, and C so we can return the child. I don't know if I made any sense, but I feel like it's almost impossible to be objective because you're always looking through it with your own lens. You know what I mean? Whatever the problem is that you're seeing, you're looking at it with your own kind of lens. You might try to be as objective as possible, but it's hard to be 100% objective because you're dealing with other people and you're dealing with real life circumstances, so it's never black and white. So that's something that I struggle with, because it's like, if I say that there's issues with the parenting right now and I think that the child is unsafe, yes, I may be able to back it up with literature, with certain things like attachment and stuff like that, but at the same time, there would be a level of bias, you know what I mean? And that's something that I struggle with. The other thing that I'm a little bit like uncertain about is, I'm not sure about other child protection systems in other countries, but in Australia there's a lot of flexibility around who they hire. So a majority of people in child protection are social workers, but not all of them are. So you might get people that may be primary school teachers or high school teachers, whatever. You might get people that may have done maybe psychologists. You might get people that may have done a completely different career. Maybe there's a guy who works in my office who used to do what's it called, I think IT, and now they're doing child protection. And I feel like the assessment is so basic. Like, to be able to get in, it's very easy. Like, it's not that hard. There's a couple of categories that you go through, and it's very easy to get in, you know, so it's not too hard to get in at all. And I feel like because they recruit a variety of different professions, the training process preparing you for the work needs to be a little more intense. It's either they make that more intense or they tighten the recruitment process, because there's a long period where you're doing training. It's like 3 months or something like that, but it's mostly online, and there's 4 weeks out of the 3 months that you do face-to-face like training with other people that are, I guess, knowledgeable in the field. But if you're someone who has no experience with, like, you know, the values of social work, how to interview people, how to counsel someone, you don't understand trauma and those kind of things, I don't think that training is enough to prepare you for this. And so that will definitely impact on the work that you're doing with families, and families will definitely be the ones to cop it. So that is something that I'm not sure about either. I don't know. I don't know if that's the best way to go. I personally, if I had my own way, I think all child protection caseworkers need to be social workers. Like, you have to have a social work degree. That way that training will be enough, because you've already done a lot of skills around how to do assessments, how to do counseling, you understand like different theories like solution focused, narrative therapy, all those kind of things. You kind of have an idea of those things, so you know how to speak to people that you the kind of people that we're working with who have mostly experienced trauma, you know, because I think it's easy to go in and see everything just as they are, like, you know, this house is filthy, mom's not making an effort, this is not enough, blah blah blah, when you don't really understand trauma, or when you don't understand how much of an impact all their experiences may have on them, you know. And the final thing that I struggle with as well is sometimes the people that we work with, because of all the challenging experiences that they've had, have no family, and they may have been a kid in care themselves, and then they may have a child, and because of all the experiences, they're struggling to care for the child. So we might do our best to provide support to them to ensure that they're caring for their children appropriately, but obviously their ability to absorb that help or take on that help will be completely different to someone who's had a normal life. So basically you don't want to take their child away and put them into care, and the chances that they may turn out like mom is very high, because mom was basically a kid in care herself and there was no family to take her. Baby obviously has no family to go to, so she'll probably end up in care. What would the outcome be? Hopefully you hope for the best, but what are the odds? Or do you leave baby with mom, but at the same time you're sitting with a lot of risk because mom isn't able to take on all the support that's being provided at the moment? So guys, I've left you guys with more questions than answers, but that is where I sit. So I'm still very much on the fence around where I am. Like, I don't know if it's going to be long term. I don't know what it's going to look like, because yeah, as I said, there's a few things that I've really enjoyed about it, but there's a couple of things that I still sit on the fence about. Like, I'm just not sure if I just don't know. Like, I just don't know what the answers are to those things, and they're just things that kind of play on my mind a little bit. So yeah, that's where we're at, guys. So if you're thinking of doing child protection, these are a few things to consider. Maybe you might have like ideas around how some of these things can be mitigated. Let me know in the comment section below. Have you guys thought about getting into child protection? Is it something you've considered, or are you a child protection worker? What are your experiences so far? Let me know in the comment section below.